It's one of the biggest tournaments, not just in tennis, but in sport. Wimbledon is just around the corner, and in this video, I'm going to preview the tournament and give my prediction as to who I think will win the tournament. So, I have to start by talking about the fact that Russian and Belarusian players are banned from taking part in Wimbledon. It's a very controversial topic, and obviously the reason why these players are banned is because of the war that's taking place between Ukraine and Russia and Belarus. And in my opinion, I think this is the right decision because the UK and other countries need to put as much pressure on Russia as possible. They need to shine the light on the fact that Russia are lying about why they are doing this war, why they are invading Ukraine, and they need to take a stance. And I feel sorry for the Russian and Belarusian athletes and tennis players in this scenario, because obviously it's completely out of their control, and a number of them have spoken out against the war and want peace. But having said that, apparently, according to the Wimbledon CEO, this ban is only going to take place for this Wimbledon year. Although having said that, I think the war is going to last beyond that. So I'm not sure whether this ban will only last until this tournament. But I think it's the right decision from Wimbledon because, like I said, the UK and Wimbledon need to put pressure on Russia, and they need to take a stance, and they can't be seen to host Russian and Belarusian players, especially given the fact that Roman Abramovich has been banned from football. And yes, I understand that Roman Abramovich has way more ties and links to Vladimir Putin than the Russian and Belarusian athletes, but still, it does set somewhat of a precedent, and it puts more pressure on Vladimir Putin and Russia to stop the war if tournaments like Wimbledon and then other sporting tournaments and other sports stop Russian and Belarusian athletes and tennis players and professionals from taking part. So I can understand why Wimbledon have taken this stance and why the Russian and Belarusian athletes and tennis players are frustrated. But what it does mean is the likes of Daniil Medvedev, Rublev, Sabalenka, and also Azarenka will not take part in this tournament. Of course, Medvedev being the number one male tennis player and Rublev amongst the top 10 male tennis players, while Sabalenka is one of the best female tennis players playing right now and has a phenomenal serve. It opens the tournament up somewhat because Zverev is injured. It means that Djokovic is actually the number one seed. Let's talk about the British hopefuls going into Wimbledon. So the number one male British tennis player is Cameron Norrie. He's off the back of 2 ATP tournament tennis wins this year. Although this year he has also lost the likes of Casper Ruud, who's a Roland Garros finalist, Nadal, we all know Nadal, and also Alcaraz, the young hotshot Spaniard who himself has won 4 tournaments this year, which is phenomenal. But with Cameron Norrie, he will want to best his Wimbledon career best of 3rd round, which is the same as Dan Evans, who's the number 2 UK male British seed. He has done quite well this year and is on the back of really good recent form because he's won in Nottingham, which is a grass-based tournament, which is just before Wimbledon. But in Queens, Dan Evans lost to eventual winner Matteo Berrettini. Another young GB hopeful is Jack Draper, who has this calendar year beaten Schwartzman and Taylor Fritz. And Taylor Fritz is off the back of winning the Eastbourne tournament, which is another grass-based tournament similar to Nottingham, which takes place just before Wimbledon. So the fact that Jack Draper has beaten 2 male tennis players in the top 15 seeds shows that Jack Draper at 20 years old has a really bright future in tennis. And of course, Andy Murray. Now, he's 35, so he is getting on a bit, and he's had horrific injury issues over the last 5-6 years. But this month, he's been playing some really good tennis, and in Stuttgart, a grass-based tournament held just before Wimbledon, similar to Nottingham and also Queens, Murray beat Nick Kyrgios and also Stefanos Tsitsipas, and it's the first time Murray has beaten a top 5 male seed in Tsitsipas since 2016, where he beat Novak Djokovic. So it shows that Murray isn't just playing tennis again and injury-free, he's actually in really decent form. So hopefully he can go really far in Wimbledon this year. Beyond the GB male hopefuls for Wimbledon, you've got the likes of Djokovic, who, like I said, will be the number 1 seed because Zverev is injured and Medvedev is banned. Then you have Carlos Alcaraz, a very young Spanish tennis player who has won 4 ATP titles this year, like I said, all in different formats. But the only thing with Alcaraz, it just remains to be seen whether he'll perform well on grass. But in my opinion, I think Nadal will win. He's won the Australian Open recently and Roland Garros. And yes, he's had some injury issues, but he's confirmed recently that he doesn't feel any pain in his foot. And also, it's probably going to be his last Wimbledon tournament. And I think the stars just aligned. I just can just see him winning the final at Wimbledon. Potentially his last ever Grand Slam tournament. I can just see that happening. Then for the GB female hopeful tennis players, we've got Emma Raducanu, who, yes, has had a lot of injury concerns this year, but actually has played some relatively good tennis when she has been fit and injury-free. And it's looking like going into this Wimbledon tournament, she doesn't have any injury concerns, so hopefully that stays the case. Then the next best GB female tennis players are Harriet Dart and Katie Boulter, and they're both off the back of their best career performances at Eastbourne, which is a grass-based tournament held in June just before Wimbledon. So the fact that they're both in excellent form going into Wimbledon hopefully means that they can go really far in the Wimbledon this year. Beyond just the GB hopefuls, we've got Iga Swiatek and also Coco Gauff, both being Roland Garros finalists. And I think one of them will win Wimbledon, but I can see it being Iga Swiatek. Yes, she normally performs better on clay, but she's in such brilliant form, and with some of Russian and Belarusian athletes being banned, it makes the path for Iga Swiatek slightly easier to that Wimbledon shield. You've also got Unas Jabeur, who's in fantastic form, winning 2 titles this year, who's not just a great individual player, but she's a great doubles partner, and potentially she could be a double partner for Serena Williams, who's back at Wimbledon, which is fantastic to see. So my picks for Wimbledon are Rafa Nadal and Iga Swiatek. Let me know what you think is going to happen at Wimbledon in the comments below. And please like, comment and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate that. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you very much.